The Arabic language, specifically Arabic grammar, has been the cause of a religious war for the last 6 months. 7 months between me, Baba Shuaiba, the correctional officer, and a whole group of people that think that if you prostrate to your Lord the times that God told you to prostrate to your Lord, you are now apparently a pagan. And these people are calling towards the religion of God, and they are pioneers and mavericks of what the truth is, but unfortunately they fall short in the basics, the fundamentals. I'm not talking about definitions, I'm not talking about exegesis, I'm not talking about interpretations, but if you are bringing forth to me the way that you understood what the Quran is saying and it does not pass basic Arabic grammar, I'm going to go put it in the garbage where it belongs and where you should put yourself if you're going to keep carrying on with your arrogance. I don't care if you're 5 years old or 80 years old or 100 years old. If you are presented with the mere fact that you are incorrect with the basic Arabic grammar in the interpretation that you keep trying to pass to people, which is very queer, which is very niche, I am not going to accept it, nor am I going to allow you to do it, especially if you're attacking me when I am clearly saying things that align with the basic fundamentals of what the Arabic language is saying. Now, somebody decided to correct the correctional officer. So now I am going to correct the corrector of the correctional officer because the corrector made an incorrect statement. So now I need to be correcting him. I think that was okay. But yeah, so this individual made 4 hours and 50-minute video saying that he is going to crush the argument of the correctional officer, and he is going to skin the argument of the correctional officer, and he's going to tear apart the argument of the correctional officer.
I'm going to skin you good today. You meaning your argument. That's what I'm talking about, not you personally.
But all I did was hear one argument from him, and he failed short. And because he failed short, I am no longer interested what else he has to say. Because I actually never watched his videos. I never spent time, nor did I sit there and dedicate myself to watching any of his content. It's just because, unfortunately, I just don't like watching content where the person believes he is the beacon of truth, that he could see the Quran in an angle that no one else in history has been capable of seeing it in that angle, and therefore he is a maverick. Specific times as a discipline. You know how it is with your MMA, and you know how it is with your life. If you're not disciplined, then you're not efficient. God is teaching you as a human being, you need to be efficient and you need to be disciplined. Yeah. So here's your daily ritual.
And when it comes to the word khanzir, as we saw earlier, the word khanzir can mean either rotten or pig. And the only way to determine whether it's speaking of something rotten or pig is by basically proving it from the context. Nobody, I'll tell you this without any reservations, nobody can prove from the context itself that it's speaking about a pig.
It's just a waste of time and it's a headache.
I'ma do my stuff.
All right, so to kick this off, you have to understand that there's a lot of rules in Arabic grammar that does not apply in English. So for example, in chapter 2, when God says that Abraham was raising the foundation of the house and Ismail, right? In English, that sounds like Abraham is raising the foundation of the house and Abraham is raising Ismail. But it's not the case because of the diacritic. So Abraham is raising the foundation of the house and Ismail is raising the foundation of the house. Now, I could hear some people in the chat saying, well, bro, you said you don't believe in diacritics, and there was no diacritics at the beginning when they wrote down the Quran. So how do you really know if it's Ismailu or Ismaila? I got him. Well, actually, it's because of the content that follows it. Rabbana taqabbala minna. So they're saying, God, accept from us, both of us. So if Abraham is doing both actions, raising Ismail and raising the house, why is Ismail asking God to please accept from us this specific task that we're working on?
There's al-ardi, al-ardu, al-arda. That's only through diacritical marks, and you just stack them and you'll find that they actually have a meaning. For example, corruption does not spread in al-arda or al-ardu, only in al-ardi.
No, actually the diacritics at the end of the word that can be modified has absolutely nothing to do with the definition of the word. What it defines is its position in the sentence. The reason why corruption has been shown in the land, it's fil ardi, is because of the letter fi that comes before the ard. Anytime any word is preceded by the letter fi, it will always have the bottom diacritic. That's how jar and majroor works in Arabic grammar. Like for example, an-nasu infasadat. An-nasu here is the people. But if I said ظهر الفساد في الناس, the word has not changed its definition. So ladies and gentlemen, maybe you should really pay attention to who you're listening to, because they're not like us.
I'ma do my stuff.
So on to the video. This is Hamza Malik. He's been in the dawah scene for a very, very, very long time. That's what I understand. Do I watch his video? No. Do I care for him? No. Do I watch his material? No. Did I watch the whole video? No. So why am I commenting? It's just because I want to show you the fact that they presented information when that information does not align with the basic Arabic fundamentals, the basic Arabic grammar. When this is a clear Arabic book, I take it and I put it in the garbage because it is not for me to consume. It is a waste of time for me as an individual who knows the Quran the way that I do, for me to sit here and have someone to try to confuse me when I sit and watch the video and I laugh at him. I understand that he is talking from the point of an argument. He is trying to take the argument of what Baba Shuaiba said. But unfortunately, he does not know that he's pulling people away from the religion of God by these fundamental issues that he's causing. So this is why it is very important when these people take shots at me or my buddies, I am going to speak the truth.
I'ma do my stuff.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Okay, good. Let's look at what he's talking about. This problem here of chapter 16, verse 98. I tried to deal with it with him with it before, but let's go into it again this time. So anyway, you got it on the screen. It says, so when you, the word there is when you is a recite, koratna. That's a perfect verb. That's a perfect verb in the perfect tense, can never be present or future. Ever in anybody's grammar, in anybody's language that I know of, a perfect verb means the action has already been done. You're not about to do the action. The action is done. That's what a perfect verb is. Now, if it changes like that, the whole Quran is just going to be unrecognizable.
Hamza. You are trying to shove English grammar into Arabic grammar, and it does not work that way, especially when it comes down to the Quran. So what his argument is that it says here فَإِذَا قَرَأْ. Now, قَرَأْ is in the past perfect verb. It's a past tense. So he is assuming that what God is saying, that the قَرَأْتَ al-Quran, that condition needs to be complete. So that condition needs to be completely in the past tense, not ongoing, not actually occurring for the imperative verbs to take effect, right? But that's not how it works in Arabic because of this fa right here. Okay, so this fa right here is telling you that it's a istinafiya. So there is a condition that needs to be met. As soon as this condition is met, which will always come to you in the perfect verb, then the imperative verb or anything that is an order in that condition, it needs to actually occur. There is ways for us to signal that if we want the condition to be complete for the imperative verb to take effect. So there is the simple word like قَدْ. فَإِذَا قَدْ قَرَأْتَ الْقُرْآنِ. إِذَا. قَدْ means you are done in it. This is just basic Arabic. But God uses also a different method in the Quran for you to show that the condition is complete for it to work. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the way that the Quran works, it's very Boolean logic in style. So here, if condition is met, then order. It's not if condition is complete, then order. So he is saying that the condition needs to be complete. But let's assume that he is right with the way that this verse is presenting itself, that it needs to be complete. Then I will take you to verse 7:204. وَإِذَا, right? Here, the waw is the istinafiya. This is the resumption particle, right? And the إِذَا is a conditional if. So if قُرِئَ الْقُرْآنِ, قُرِئَ is also فعل ماضي, right? فعل ماضي means past tense, right? And guess what? It's also a perfect verb. If the Quran is recited, فَاسْتَمِعُوا. So this is the imperative verb. Exactly what he was saying. Istami'u here is what? Listen. Listen to it, the Quran, and pay attention to the Quran, لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ, so that you may receive mercy. But okay, if we're going to go by what he said, how am I going to listen and pay attention if it has been concluded? But I understand how these people work. I understand. Oh, no, God is giving you an image that after the recitation has been completely done and you are now no longer hearing the Quran, at that point you will listen and apply it. And that is how you truly pay attention to what God has said. But this is just a whole jumbo-wumbo, hubbaloo, whatever you want to call it, that it's not true. Things that you come up in your mind, apologetics, because of your arrogance. It's extremely clear and it's extremely basic when God is telling you here that if the Quran is recited, then listen to it. You see how I did it in English? If the Quran is recited, then listen to it and pay attention. If you recited the Quran, then seek refuge to God. This does not necessitate for the word to be completed. Now I can also show you some more verses in how you are not aligning yourself to what the Quran is saying.
إذا.
Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, this is in chapter 5, 6, right?
And again in Surah 50 verse 3, Allah is giving us the chronological order of how things work. It reads, أَإِذَا مِتْنَا وَكُنَّا تُرَابًا ذَلِكَ رَجْعٌ بَعِيدًا. What? When we die and become dust. So this one word, Iza, which brings us the reality of understanding the chronological order of Allah's system. Do we have to die first and then become dust, or do we become dust first and then die? You tell me which one makes sense. Iza. So it's not me being technical. It's me sticking to the Quran and following the Quran. Dear viewers, I want you to seriously think about this. So stand first, then wash, or wash first, then stand. So it is quite clear the Sunnis are in contradiction of this verse. Surah 16 verse 98 reads, Iza, when you read the Quran, seek refuge in God against Satan, the rejected one.
But according to your nonsense, it should be when you read the Quran, not when you read the Quran.
When you read the Quran,
They think they are sensible and they keep on making mistakes.
Wow, Mr. Kareem.
I'ma do my stuff.
إذا قمتم إلى الصلاة.
Iza.
Either here is the conditional. قمتم إلى الصلاة. إلى, right, necessitates that it's something that you are going towards, right? قمتم is what? It is a past tense perfect verb. So is that means إذا قمتم إلى الصلاة, إذا قضيت إلى الصلاة, إذا قضيت قمتم إلى الصلاة. You can't even try to make this verse into something that's a condition that has been met and completed with إلى in it. Because it would have been إذا قضيتم الصلاة, إذا قضيت الصلاة, then you would have been accurate. But here إذا قمتم الصلاة, which is still a past tense, then what? Wash your faces and your hands to the elbows and wipe your heads and your feet through the ankles. But guess what? These are also, as you said, right, imperative verbs. But here apparently it does not need to be concluded for it to occur. It needs to be met for this to occur. Am I going to the prayer? Yes, I am. So now I have to wash and wipe as God told me to. We go to chapter 4 verse 103. فَإِذَا
Iza.
قَضَيْتُمُ الصَّلَاةِ. Okay, so and when you have finished the prayer, guess what? Isti'nafiyah. That's the fa. And guess what's after it? A perfect verb. And it's a past verb. The verb itself is completing the what? The condition. Well, look, wait. Oh, it's an imperative verb. But this condition needs to be met. The completion, the conclusion of what? The verse. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, he has a 4-hour video that I'm not going to sit and watch the whole video because I showed you basically the first argument that he presented is something that does not align with the Quran. He's clearly saying that if
Iza.
the Quran has been done, completed, recited, then you seek refuge to God. And you can't say, I seek refuge to God, because that's not what God has told you to say.
That you cannot find A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim anywhere in the Quran. Anywhere in the Quran. And brother, you got that reward I'm putting up. I'm going to put up a reward on 2 questions here. Here's one of them. For anybody, there you see on the screen, that's $1,000 cash in American money. All you have to do is show me where it says in the Quran, A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim. Show me that phraseology in the Quran and you got it. Now you get it first. If you're not able to do it, then this goes out to anybody else on the planet Earth to show me that word, that phraseology, A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim. You had to get it from the Sunni.
Despite God clearly saying, say, Lord, I seek protection with you against the temptations of the devil. And I seek protection with you, Lord, lest they attend to me. وَقُلْ رَبِّ أَعُوذُ بِكَ مِنْ هَمَزَاتِ الشَّيَاطِينِ وَأَعُوذُ بِكَ رَبِّ أَنْ يَحْضَرُونَ. So saying, أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ مِنَ الشَّيَاطِينِ الْمَرْجُومِ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ. These are things that I'm not allowed to say because apparently it's not in the Quran. And don't give me the money. Give it to the poor people.
I'ma do my stuff.